Hello everyone, how's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful day. So Star Wars Jedi Survivor is the brand new game from EA and Respawn Entertainment. The previous game was extremely well received. I loved it, and it's only going to go up from there. Respawn has been killing it with their games. Titanfall, Apex Legends, the Star Wars franchise, and EA, and this is absolutely stunning, has been pulling an anime redemption arc. They literally have been pulling out exceptional games like Dead Space, Star Wars. They've been doing a good job. Yeah, they still have Madden, and they do have a new soccer game that's likely going to come out with a lot of microtransactions. But I can appreciate W's I'll give W's where I can, because they have been dishing out some really good single player games. But Star Wars Jedi Survivor, shockingly, like despite the positive reception, all the early reviews, everyone's saying it's extraordinary. It's been having a lot of performance issues, especially with people with high-end PCs who are designed to run Windows 10, which, by the way, for some reason, unless you have a state-of-the-art machine, you can't run Windows 11 for some reason. Did I say Windows 10 or Windows 11? Either way, Windows 11, I'm sure a lot of us have been seeing. Update to Windows 11, your machine can't run it. We are aware that Star Wars Jedi Survivor isn't performing to our standards for a percentage of PC players, in particular those with high-end machines or certain specific configurations. For example, players using cutting-edge multi-threaded chipsets designed for Windows 11 were encountering problems on Windows 10, or high-end GPUs coupled with lower performance CPUs also saw unexpected frame loss. Rest assured, we are working to address these cases quickly. While there is no single comprehensive solution for PC performance, the team has been working on fixes we believe will improve performance across a spectrum of configurations. We are committed to fixing these issues as soon as possible, but each patch requires significant testing to ensure we don't introduce new problems. Thanks for understanding, and apologies to any of our players experiencing these issues. We will continue to monitor performance across all platforms and share update timing as well as it is available to Star Wars Jedi team. Now, they're stating that because Respawn has a history of whenever they put out a new patch, it kind of breaks something else. And the most notorious example being Apex Legends, because the code is so layered that they make one issue, they solve one problem and makes another issue become apparent. Like, apparently there is a footstep issue on Apex Legends because of the latest patch. And it is a bit shocking because Jason Schreier wrote an article on Bloomberg, which is paywalled. I spoke to Star Wars Jedi Survivor director Stig Osimon. I am butchering that name. I apologize. About how they made this excellent game in 3 years, half the time of most modern development cycles, and how Respawn pivoted to allowing anyone to work remotely. Now, this has become a issue, especially in Activision Blizzard, where they want people to come into the office, and there are pros and cons to that. I'm not going to get into that, but allowing people to choose whether to work remotely or at the office has been extremely positive for a lot of people. And yeah, it just seems that the two different video game publishers' approaches, Activision Blizzard has asked the majority of its staff to return to office 3 days a week. Electronic Arts lets studios decide on how own to approach remote work. And I know Bungie's also doing this as well. It's a lot more effective to have people work at home because basically there's also the cost of commuting, there are the issues of commuting, but there's also physical interaction, which does build team morale. Again, it's pros and cons, but either way, it seems to be a positive experience at Respawn and EA. But as you can see here, yes, mostly negative. Looking at the reviews, Star Wars CPU Survivor, so far the loading screen is pretty okay. I have no idea what it's like past the title screen because it doesn't load past that at all the moment. RTX 480, i9, 32 gigabytes. Wow, this guy has a really top of the line machine. Latest drivers on Windows 11. You could run Windows 11? Dude, that's a monumental trophy right there. I can get around 30 frames per second. Amazing. Game is extremely fun, but performs terribly. And it goes on and on. Now, it's not just PC players who are having these problems. Console players are also having problems on PS5 and Xbox Series X. Now, I haven't played the game yet. I'm still downloading it. But apparently a lot of people on consoles are having major issues with Jedi Survivor, which again, if you look at, like, say, let's look at OpenCritic, Jedi Survivor, and you can see here they're over 85%, a lot of positive reception. We can also go to Metacritic. And it's basically the same thing, which is again shocking to me because I guess the day one patch did something that just completely collapsed the entire game, something that wasn't fully tested, because that's the only reason I can think of. Because when you get early access to a game, you get basically the 0.10 edition of the game, the baseline version of the game that's made available when they start printing the disc, basically 1.0. It's when you get the day one patch that you get, I don't know, 1.01 or something. So I'm assuming that's what happened here. And Respawn does have a history of this. Like, they have a patch out and it usually breaks something else. It's like what happened with Cyberpunk 2077 with CD Projekt Red. They dish out a patch way too early and they didn't really test it out fully to see if it broke something else. And it seems that's what happened, in my opinion, which goes against what Jason Schreier said. Now, again, the 1.0 version probably is what ran really well, and they just didn't test out the new day one patch, and that's what happened here where it broke the game essentially. So it's probably wise that you don't get the game right now, or if you did purchase it like I did, maybe wait maybe a day or two, or maybe just wait a couple of hours, because they're probably working on like huge amounts of they're just going through huge amounts of staff to try and get this game working, because it is one of EA's biggest games, not to mention it's Star Wars. And as we saw with Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 from EA, the reboot, the 2015-2017 releases, Disney does not take kindly to this type of stuff. I would assume they were so vexed by the situation, what EA was dishing out with their games, that they just decided, hey, we're just going to go multi-platform. Anyone can make a Star Wars game now. I mean, the final game they made within their contract, I believe, was Fallen Order, which turned out to be exceptional. But either way, I'm pretty sure Disney's not going to be too happy about this either. So that's the video. Like it if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. This is me, signing out.